'Tis the season for holiday joy, despite everything we've been through during the past 3.5 months. In fact, Martha Teichner tells us it's all the more reason to welcome the Yuletide contribution of one of our country's most gifted artists.
Welcome to the White House, everyone. Our theme this year is Home for the Holidays. It was a theme that I picked in July. Of course, then not realizing how perfect Home for the Holidays is for this Christmas after September 11th.
There is something brave about the Christmas decorations at the White House, something ironic about the fact that the safe, once-upon-a-time world they conjure up will not be seen by visitors this year for security reasons.
This is something, even though we're not having the tours, that people will be able to pick up at the White House Visitor Center. The artist who did this brochure, his name is Jerry Pinkney. He's a children's book illustrator. He actually has...
Jerry Pinkney has illustrated more than 100 children's books, won all kinds of awards. What amazed him was that after September 11th, creating a Christmas gift for the White House became exceptionally important.
We're speaking at a time when we all very desperately needed to be lifted, you know, and here I had this project.
By October 12th, the day we watched him with his watercolors, he was at work on the cover.
I think the opportunity to have on the cover carolers of different races and different cultures became even more important. So, in other words, if it was an idea before, it had to be now.
For Jerry Pinkney, though, it's always been important, ever since he became one of the first African-American illustrators to break the color barrier in children's book publishing nearly 40 years and over 100 books ago.
I had 4 children, and they were looking at books, and there was a lack of people of color. There was a lack of them understanding their own history. There was a lack in terms of my own personal knowledge of African American history.
From the young Harriet Tubman to the folk hero John Henry, Jerry Pinkney used each book to explore a part of his own heritage. He immerses himself in his subject matter. For example, in Goin' Someplace Special, segregation in the South.
I couldn't connect to that book until I had to, in my mind, walk under a sign that leads you to the back of the bus. This is for the nightingale.
Oh. Pinkney becomes every character, sometimes literally.
And who is that?
That's me.
That's you.
Yes.
I didn't recognize you.
I love pretending I'm a creature. I love pretending I'm a king in Northwest Africa. So it fulfills a lot of sort of needs.
Does that mean when you're painting a bear or painting a wolf or drawing a tiger or a lion or something, that you become the tiger or the lion or the wolf or whatever? Do you lose yourself?
No, it becomes part of Jerry Pinkney. And I find myself.
Sing me a song of the saddle.
He uses models too, but still likes, say, playing cowboys.
I played cowboys when I was a kid. I was Gene Autry, Tom Mix. I didn't know that there were African
Those are white guys.
I had all the hats. I had everything, holster, gun in the holster, and so when I had an opportunity to do Black Cowboy Wild Horses, I played cowboys again. This time, I'm Bob Lemon. I'm an African-American cowboy, and I can wear a cowboy hat.
Sing me a song of the trail.
He also dresses other family members up. His wife, Gloria. His children. His grandchildren. In fact, children's books have become the family business.
Great. Are you guys are a team?
Husband and wife.
Yeah, husband and wife.
Yeah.
2 of the 4 Pinkney children and their wives are involved. Miles Pinkney is a photographer, his wife Sandra, a writer. Here, their book, Shades of Black, is featured at the Harlem Book Fair.
I am the golden brown in sugar.
I'm the velvety orange and a peach. Who has
Brian Pinkney, Miles's brother, and his wife Andrea are there too. Brian is an illustrator like his father, Andrea a writer and children's book editor. Their books are on display a few stalls away. Jerry Pinkney illustrated his wife Gloria's first 2 children's books. Jerry, Miles, and Brian all contributed to her latest, a spiritual book called In the Forest of Your Remembrance.
The fact that you have you and Jerry, and you have Miles and Brian and their wives doing children's books, what's that like for you?
I just feel so blessed. When our children were very young, we used to supply them with lots of materials and things, but never did I ever think that this would happen, where they would all do creative works.
That's fabulous.
When they get together, they always bring their latest work in progress and critique each other.
Does anybody critique Jerry?
That's a good question.
I do.
Gloria does.
I do.
I've started
Oh, you
critiquing
critique
work.
too?
You do?
Yes.
My work?
I've said things to
When?
When? To his face?
You mean when we're working together?
I pose it like a question.
Nothing makes Jerry Pinkney happier than the thought of others following in his footsteps.
Came from my mother, who said, you can believe it and you can become it. That's important. So I wanted that to happen with my children, and I was never a verbal person, but I could show by example, and I still try to do that, show by example.
Pinkney was the first African-American illustrator to design postage stamps. He's done 11. Part of his quest for visibility has been to contribute to projects for the nation. But when the phone rang and it was the White House, he couldn't quite believe it.
So this is almost like icing on the cake right now.
At the White House, one of the 49 Christmas trees is decorated with miniature versions of Jerry Pinkney's books.
I've been told many, many stories about the wonderful
The art is
that's here.
fabulous here, and this is so wonderful.
Well, thank you.
First Lady Laura Bush took the time to thank him personally. His work clearly delighted the children's librarian in her.
Well, I love to read children's books to children, and I especially, of course, love the books that are so beautifully illustrated, like you illustrated this brochure.
There's one little character I love so much, and he's the one on the far right
This-
there. Yes.
His head buried.
Right, exactly. Trying to find his place.
You see,
What he's done is soothe us with the innocent storybook holiday we wish could be real this year.